Science tells us that dinosaurs went extinct 65 million years ago, but there is strong evidence that contradicts this date for the extinction of the dinosaurs. Carbon-14 dating is a means by which we can date organic matter. Carbon is an element that is present in two isotopes in all living organisms while it is still alive. The vast majority of carbon atoms in a living organism are in the carbon-12 isotope, while only a tiny fraction are in the carbon-14 isotopic form. But when an organism dies, no new carbon-14 is formed, and since carbon-14 is a radioactive isotope, it decays to carbon-12. This decay occurs in a mathematically predictable rate, with half of the carbon-14 in a living organism at the time of its death decaying to carbon-12 in 5,730 years. This period is known as the half-life of the carbon-14 isotope, the time it takes for half of the carbon-14 isotopes to decay into carbon-12. Another half of this remaining amount then decays in another 5,730 years, and so on, so that only a fourth, eighth, 16th of the original carbon-14 present in the organism at the time of its death is present after 11,460, 17,190, and 22,920 years, respectively. If we extrapolate this formula out to 65 million years, there should be only 1/2 raised to the 1,300th power, or 10 to the negative 100th of the carbon-14 atoms remaining relative to the original sample. There are 10 to the 80th atoms of all elements in the entire observable universe. So even if there was a dinosaur that was as large as all of the atoms combined in the entire universe, made up entirely of carbon atoms, there still wouldn't be a single carbon-14 atom in a dinosaur 65 million years after it died. Yet carbon-14 in detectable amounts far exceeding this amount has been discovered in the soft tissue of a dinosaur. Now, the discovery of soft tissue in the remains of a dinosaur is in and of itself a remarkable discovery. This discovery was made in 2007 by a paleontologist named Dr. Mary Schweitzer. The story goes as follows. In 2000, Bob Harmon, chief preparator of paleontology at the Museum of the Rockies, discovered a Tyrannosaurus rex skeleton in the Hell Creek Formation in Montana. After a 2-year retrieval process, Jack Horner, the director of the museum, gave the femur bone to Schweitzer. Schweitzer was able to retrieve proteins from this femur in 2007. 65 million years is a very, very long time. For comparison, the Australopithecus afarensis, the oldest bipedal ancestor of man, considered to be the direct ancestor of our own species, lived only 2.5 million years ago. No traces of soft tissue have ever been found of this species, as expected. For this reason, the discovery of detectable amounts of soft tissue in the form of proteins in a species that walked the Earth more than 60 million years ago, before the Australopithecus, is a remarkable discovery. Brian Thomas and Vance Nelson, who are creationists, made a bold prediction based on Dr. Schweitzer's discovery. They began by predicting that radiocarbon in dinosaur bones could be detected based on long-standing published reports of measurable radiocarbon in coal, diamonds, and other materials assumed by evolutionary geologists to be millions of years old. They gathered 16 samples from 14 fossil specimens of fish, wood, plants, and animals from throughout the geological column, Miocene to Permian, from all 3 eras, Cenozoic, Mesozoic, and Paleozoic. Samples came from a variety of locales around the globe, including Canada, Germany, and Australia. About half were from dinosaur bones, and all samples were prepared by the standard processes to eliminate contamination, then were submitted to a lab for atomic mass spectroscopy. Unexpectedly, all 16 samples submitted for measurement contained C14, or carbon-14. Quote-unquote, "We found measurable amounts of carbon-14 in all 14 of our dinosaur and other fossils. Moreover, we found surprising consistency in these data, which range from approximately 17,850 to 49,470 radiocarbon years." So the theory is wrong. Why do scientists continue to insist that dinosaurs died out 65 million years ago? Ultimately, it is for the same reason that the Church insisted that the world was created only 6,000 years ago during the Middle Ages, in spite of all of the evidence to the contrary. The evidence that dinosaurs did not die out 65 million years ago is, to this day, as incontrovertible as the evidence that the Earth was not created 6,000 years ago in 1900. Any independent-minded individual free from scientific or religious dogma can see this for himself. As the young boy pointed out in the famous parable, the emperor has no clothes.